Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to See No Evil. So, we got to a whole new area after just about 25 minutes of gameplay in the first episode. So, I'm not really expecting the game to go that long. I can't help but think, since I'm seeing the game as 99 cents right now, that I may have just bought this game because it was cheap. Freedom Song, is it progression or distracting? It depends on your perspective. So, yeah. You're still being chased by robed people. We now have flowers that will also make sound. And I can't help but think we can't maybe to Well, I thought that was supposed to be a distraction thing, but apparently not. Now, this is kind of a great example of what typically happens in almost every video game, in that there is enemies that can move faster than you can. Otherwise they would never be able to capture you. Freedom demands change, redirecting your old boys. So we are seeing some variations on the themes. I don't really like the way that's animating though. So you have a horn here, and you have to line it up correctly to scare the old guy, to get him to stop stepping on the platform switch. The glow bugs were once free, we all used to be, but we all grew lazy, couldn't stay awake. Since we know here, I guess the question is, which sound of the two sounds that are playing is the spikes going up versus the spikes going down? And it's worth also asking, would running into the spikes while they are in the up position actually hurt me? Assume that was the right sound, but nope, it wasn't. I'm a little bit confused here, and Windows is also popping up annoying pop-ups. There's actually 3 sounds playing. There's like a warning sound that happens in between the whole thing. Not so much a warning sound. Okay, well I can certainly see how this could get annoying really fast, but the right voice can free others. All of them. If all of a sudden a lot of the actions are going to be more I really don't like the way this controls. Yeah, if a lot of these puzzles start becoming like time-based, that could be a real problem. The sound of this voice must be carefully manipulated to have the right effect. I wonder if perhaps the D-pad would be the better move to use. My question here, what's the point of this box? This is a small game from a small team, but there are definitely some animations I could see that are missing, as far as you just don't have an animation of him walking up the stairs or hearing him walk up the stairs even as a sound effect. And since this is a game about sound, it is going to be particularly important in my mind that there be a sound effect for every little action. I could see a company like Valve trying to make a game very similar to this concept, but doing it in a much larger scale, in the sense of something like Portal, where Portal is kind of a great example of I'd say Portal is kind of a great example of adding story to what would otherwise have been a simplistic puzzle game, and adding a lot of polish to the puzzle game that Portal 1 certainly does seem to have. Okay, so when I shout here, it projects the wave further than normally would, making it go further. Well, the D-pad works well for twisting the box. To shout diagonally or walk diagonally is not a possibility. So it's kind of pointless, or very difficult at least, for that to ever really be the answer. I don't think things are going to echo back if I did that. I also don't think I have a run button. I might have moved a character, and I may just need to reset the puzzle. If that was the case, then I definitely would argue that the puzzle should be better designed so that you don't have to reset the puzzles. getting him to move off doesn't make any sense unless I'm thinking there was some other trick. Even a box around here, well, that does make sound for itself, doesn't actually make a sound that goes into the hole. But I do think that is the solution. Wow. So we've gone from very simplistic puzzles to very difficult puzzles, and then you get somewhere close to these steps and you don't hear sound effects of going up the steps or see yourself walk up the steps. I follow the steps of one that came before me. He guides me to the mountain. If we are on the base of the mountain at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if we fairly quickly end up at the top of the mountain for the final act. And so this is simply a timing puzzle that we are going to have to walk around in circles. That was really simple, but the blind may have my scent, know that they smell you as well, stay clear to avoid them. It does inherently perhaps send the wrong message too, that the bad guys in this game seem to be all blind themselves, with their robes over their heads. I think their eyes are also covered. Of course my eyes are glowing white, so I might be blind. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for this guy to be fairly far away from us, and then step, I guess, in water to wash our feet. And then we just have to wait for this guy to decide to leave. Inherently, I guess it is also worth pointing out that audio puzzles are the worst puzzles to ever think about making in a puzzle game. Many will fall victim to the traps of other sounds, because very often people have hearing problems or are tone deaf. I think I would classify myself as being fairly tone deaf. So if there was a need to find a specific note, I don't think I would really be able to do that. It does seem like there might be some extra gameplay that can be done here, looking for fireflies. Whoops. there's a horn on the mountain, its message can spread to every ear. I assume that this is just a timing puzzle. Just see if this works. Yes, more logical to start with these puzzles kind of backward motion. I do think, though, that there is very much a chance that these angles are going to be more of a 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle. To actually go through all of that. Maybe I don't. No, I do. Again, timing based. Some will reject our message, but others will help us.
You'll need to sleep soon. You'll need to lay down and close your eyes.
So it's been, some will reject our message, but others will help. I'm not able to do anything. The game seemingly forcing the character to go to sleep. Now I control.
You know, there was a time when we were all like you, Seer. Even the blind among us had visions in their own right. And yes, during this time there were great advancements made. People read and learned and saw all sorts of things. We created contraptions and weapons and newness every day. But this newness never satisfied. Every new sight brought a longing for a limit, some sort of new standard we could defy. The world crumbled in on its own grandness. And as it collapsed, right before it crushed down on top of us, the wise among us turned their heads and shut their eyes. For then, in that moment, the world stopped. There were no more new ideas, but there were also no more bad ideas. There was no visible danger or threat. There was only peace. I just want to help you, Seer.
So this whole world just wraps around. What matters now is that you train your voice, listen to your own words as you travel. I wouldn't be surprised if the text dialogue we're saying here is actually from a completely different entity than the voice we're hearing. There is a Apple TV series that I believe is called See, just S-E-E. It's about a post-apocalyptic world where a disease makes almost every single human on the planet blind, and as the prospect of there being some sighted people in the world becomes more of an issue, there is a lot of much better written arguments as far as to why being blind might be better, particularly in that there's just like no concept really of ugliness. There's no concept of like skin color or race, barely even really a concept between genders. Of course, what you lose by being blind is way more than what you gain. And I think any honest blind person would fully admit that. If you are going to make the argument that humanity would accept being blind, and pretty obviously also ignorant, you're going to have to make it more of an effort than just saying, well, nobody would have bad ideas. Which is not even true. One of my bigger complaints, though, also about the TV show Seer is that it is very much a fighting action series and isn't really that deep or intellectual as far as how societies survive. Something in the way here, stopping the block from moving. It's like a piece of grass. You have to be fairly close. I imagine that's what that bush is all about, is that it's telling you you have to be past the bush. Oh, you really don't have a lot of time after that. Too much walking going on, I would say, for that solution. From there, our voices were breached down walls one at a time. So yeah, we got another little cutscene. It didn't lead to us actually having a whole new tile set, so it is possible that we are halfway through this tile set, and it's very believable that the first 24 minutes or so of the game was really just a tutorial getting out of the dungeon, and now we've done the first half of the first area. I still would not be surprised though if we barely approach 2 hours as far as the length of this game in total. Because I don't know how long you can really drag this out as far as a concept, and the story itself is questionable as far as how long that could be dragged out. It is noticeable that in this second 25 minutes or so of gameplay, the voice acting has become less frequent, and the number of puzzles have gotten a little bit more difficult and a little bit larger. The hope here is that we won't end up with exhaustingly large puzzles at the end of the game. Yeah, I just don't suspect we'll see much of a gimmick increase as far as gameplay mechanics or anything amazing happening here. There might be a crazy boss fight at the end that might be very difficult. But that's all I'm going to have to say for today, so that's going to be it for this episode. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching.